What's good, YouTube? It's your boy KingSupreme. Back in the video, we got Thomas Sowell on the current black culture in America. Now, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Just be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share if you want to see more bangers from your boy, feel me? Because the grind never stops. But today, we got some more of that boy Thomas Sowell. Very excited, bro, to get to watch some of this informative and listen to more of this informative videos right here, bro. When I do Thomas Sowell, we got into the one Thomas Sowell, how slavery, really what they didn't teach you about slavery in school, bro. And that video was so informative. It was so such a transformative experience for me, y'all. Like, it really was. So I had to get to some more of this dude Thomas Sowell, and I saw this one in the comments down below, and I got a lot of Thomas Sowell on deck for you. I saw a few suggestions on him in the comments down below, and I want to get to more and more of him, bro. I have to, bro. I have to get this information out. This is this is the truth about history, bro. What they don't teach you in schools for whatever reason. Because, you know what I'm saying, they want you to know the truth, whatever that is. But this is what we need to watch. This is what I need to watch. I'm very passionate about topics like this. You know what I'm saying? So I really want to see what else is in store for this one, bro. You know what I'm saying? I really just want this truth to be heard, and you know what I'm saying? Because this is the real, bro. This is the real, bro. That's one thing I love. I love the real. I love the truth, bro. That's what I love, bro. So we're gonna see how this one is. Thomas Sowell on the current black culture in America. And yeah, y'all know what the deal is. Road to 50K. You know the grind doesn't stop. Be sure to turn on those post notifications because these videos will continuously be posted. And y'all, really appreciate y'all. All the videos I upload on the channel, I get from y'all in the comments and y'all suggestions, recommendations. So please keep letting me know what y'all want to see next, and please keep filling the comments down below of anything y'all want me to get to. History stuff, sports stuff, music. I get to anything on this channel. Y'all know that. So be sure to keep letting me know which videos I want to see next and what Thomas Sowell videos especially y'all want to see next from me. So let's get into this one. Thomas Sowell on the current black culture in America. And yeah, again, I really appreciate y'all for all the support, all the love. I keep doing these videos for y'all, and y'all motivate me every day to keep continuing this. So I got y'all forever with these uploads. So let's get into this one. Thomas Sowell on the current black culture in America.
I grew up in Harlem in the 40s and 50s. I never heard a gunshot.
Well, let me read what you say in your preface. You say, "Let me state here, and now that these essays do not mean, 1, all Southern whites were or are rednecks; 2, all black Americans today or in the past were or are black rednecks. One cannot predict," you write, "much less forestall all the clever misinterpretations that others might put on one's words. The most that can be done is to alert honest people to the problem." Black rednecks, who are they?
These would be blacks who came out of the Southern culture and who carried that culture with them north into the urban ghettos and into the ghettos of the South, for that matter, and who have not moved out of that culture since. Over the years, both blacks and whites have moved away from that culture. But in the poorest and worst of the ghetto areas, there are lots of people who have not. And these kinds of, it's a culture which didn't do whites any good. And it's certainly not doing blacks any good today. And the tragedy is that people regard this culture as somehow the authentic black culture, and therefore you're not to interfere with it.
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from.
Black English is considered not quite proper English. On the other hand, if blacks happen to have all the power and own all the corporations and whites were working for them, it would be the other way around.
There was a period, I'm trying to remember now, I believe it was in the mid-70s.
This video is very intriguing so far. Hold up, let me run it back a little bit. What y'all feel about this so far, man? I love hearing y'all different opinions and different y'all viewpoints in the comments down below. So be sure to comments down below. It's an open forum. Y'all can say whatever y'all want, bro. But this is an interesting video. Hold up, man.
Which is considered not quite proper English. On the other hand, if blacks happen to have all the power and
makes a lot of sense.
Own all the corporations and whites were working for them, it would be the other way around.
There was a period, I'm trying to remember now, I believe it was in the mid-70s when substandard English began to become viewed as a discipline of its own within linguistic studies and so forth. And For all I know, it was all perfectly legitimate that certain speech patterns would be traced back to various regions in Africa and so forth. And this is a language of its own. It has its own validity. But the argument, your argument would be, I don't really care what its validity is. It's holding people back. It's preventing them from participating in the wider society. Is that right?
Absolutely. And also, none of these things went back to Africa.
Oh, is that so?
No, you can, yes, they did not go back to Africa. If you look at the peace, for example, using the word axe for ask and stuff like that, all of that goes back to the South, and it goes back to the parts of Britain from which white Southerners came. So if you trace calling hog entrails chitlins, that was in a certain section of Britain, the section from which whites moved into the South, and they were known as rednecks and crackers in Britain in centuries past, before they ever set foot in the South. So the whole thing is as phony as the $3 bill.
In Intellectuals and Race, you cite an observation by the intelligence expert, IQ scientist James Flynn, that just stopped me cold. After the Second World War, you've got large numbers of American troops remaining in Germany. For that matter, there's still several tens of thousands there today. And both black and white American soldiers had children with German women. And Flynn discovered that those children growing up in Germany showed no IQ differences at all. The black kids and the white kids, the same. Professor Flynn concluded that the reason was that the offspring of black soldiers in Germany grew up in a nation with no black subculture, close quote. Which means what? Which means they experienced exactly the same expectations. Is this the...
No, the expectations are external. The culture in which they grew up was not the culture in which black kids grew up in America today.
So they had...
There's no gangster rap.
That's all he had to say right there. That's all he had to say, because he's speaking on the current black culture in America. That's all he had to say was the gangster rap. I'm not saying it's, bruh, this just needs to be talked about a little bit, because it's the fact that, whatever, words are words. You shouldn't be influenced by words, but some words, they can influence you. It's been proven, you know what I'm saying, studies that, you know what I'm saying, if you hear someone say something like, gangster rap type stuff, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to rob this person, subconsciously, me, you know what I'm saying, I know how to decipher and like, okay, I know not to do that. I know what's right and what's wrong. But especially younger kids, they might not know. It's like that might go in their mind like, oh, robbing, oh, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's cool, right? And then they might betray that way, act that way, do those certain things when they grow older, not even realizing it. So he's right, because he's saying in Germany or whatever, I want to hear that point again. He's saying in Germany or whatever, when let's say African Americans would, have offspring with Germans, because of the culture they raised, that there was no gangster rap, there was nothing that influenced in that way. They grew up in that regard, not really being like the African Americans in America, because they weren't influenced in the way people in America are. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? And again, especially with the gangster rap, how anything, social media, rappers, anything TV can influence you in a certain way. If you're not realizing, if you're not aware of it, it can subconsciously influence you in a way that you might not even realize. Make you more angry, it can make you more aggressive, it can make you more this, that, and the third, if you know what I'm talking about. So Thomas Sowell is making some valid points on this, and it's really getting my mind working, because this is the stuff that needs to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, it's not bad to talk about it. We always talk about is, oh, this, or celebrity this, or what they do, or baby mamas, or the male versus female debate. No, this is the stuff we need to be talking about. The truth about history, the stuff that's what's influencing our kids. This, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So he's making a lot of points.
No. The expectations are external. The culture in which they grew up was not the culture in which black kids grew up in America today.
So there's
no gangster rap. That was pervasively available in Germany.
So here's what I'm getting. There is something about black subculture in America today that holds African Americans themselves back?
Yes. Because that very same subculture held whites in the South back as well. That in the time of this mental testing in the First World War turned up, among other...
He's spitting, bro. And it's one thing, if you're aware of it, like as I've grown up, I've become aware of it. If you're aware of it and realize what it can do, what it does, then it doesn't really affect you in that way. But a lot or a majority of people, they're not really aware of it, and subconsciously goes into their mind, and it might influence in that way, just like it did, like he said, the same thing with the whites. So it's just like, the same way it influenced them and affected them in that way. So it's like, it makes so much sense when you just sit down and talk about it. But no one's going to talk about this. Now they'll keep on doing the same things. They'll keep on being oblivious. They'll keep on doing this. They'll keep on being ignorant. And teach his own. You do what you want to do. But my dude right here, my guy right here, he's just trying to influence. He's just trying to put you on game. He's just trying to teach you types things, what to be aware of, right? That a lot of people might not be. You know what I mean? So listen to this, man.
The fact that whites from various 4 or 5 southern states scored lower on the mental test than blacks from 4 or 5 northern states.
Hear that?
And so it really was a question of the subculture that was there, which was a handicap to both. I could go on for days about the social degeneration, but let me give you just one quick example. When I grew up in Harlem in the 40s and 50s, I never heard a gunshot. Now, I'm sure someone fired a gun somewhere in Harlem, but it was not such a pervasive thing that you had to hear it. You know, I have relatives in Washington. I asked them the same question. People in my generation.
Growing up in Washington, D.C.
Yes, and low-income black neighborhoods. Did you ever hear a gunshot when you were growing up? And the answer was no. I have relatives in North Carolina. I asked the same question. No. And now, you know, people in housing projects especially, they put kids, some of them, to bed in bathtubs so that they won't be hit by stray bullets in the night. Now we take it for granted that there's crimes, tremendous levels of crime and violence in the black community. That was not always the case. In the 20s, it was very common for white celebrities, including George Gershwin and William Faulkner, to go up to Harlem not only for entertainment places, but to go into private homes of people they knew. And Gershwin played Rhapsody in Blue and this home where Walter White lived. Milton Friedman, when he was a graduate student at Columbia, he and the lady he later married would go dancing at the Savoy Ballroom in Harlem. And he said, we had no fear of being mugged or accosted on the street or anything like that.
I've heard you say, Tom, when you were a boy growing up in Harlem yourself, your own neighborhood felt totally safe to you.
Not totally safe. I wouldn't exaggerate, but there's nothing resembling today. I mean, I did sleep on hot nights. I would sleep out on the fire escape. When I tell people in Harlem that today, they think I'm from another galaxy, you know. But
that's what they mean when they say like people were so comfortable just to leave their doors open back in the day. No, leave the doors unlocked because it was just that environment, that nature. Like everyone was cool. Not the fact that everyone was cool to everybody, but it was just that safe thing. Like no one would, you know what I'm saying? They were all comfortable with each other. So it's like, that's why people felt the need, or they were comfortable. Like he said, he slept on the fire escape in Harlem. So it's like, that's just the comfortability he felt in that situation. So, and nowadays it's not like, what are you talking about? That's crazy, right? Because it's just how much the culture and how much the world has changed in that regard that you can't even feel safe to do this, to do that. You got to be aware. You got to do this, right? So he's making a lot of valid points, bro.
People slept on the fire escapes in New York and in the public parks in the 30s, all over the city, because it was not a jungle. And you could run through a great number of other things.
It wasn't a jungle.
Children raised without 2 parents present. That was about 22% in 1960. One generation later, it was 67%. And it's gone up a little since then as well.
Almost 70%.
And now the rate among whites is higher than it was among blacks in 1960.
Right. I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
Black people are being slaughtered in the streets, killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters,
Our friends, our family. We are done watching them die.
How do you define a white liberal?
Those kinds of people who have the kinds of attitudes that are called liberal in the United States, although the word is misused, those people have created an atmosphere in which these counterproductive cultures are to be celebrated, perpetuated. and the consequences overlooked. It reminds me of a scene in the Blue Max where this general is encouraging this daredevil pilot to do all kinds of wild stunts, you see, knowing that the guy's going to kill himself if he keeps doing this, and therefore the general will be rid of a political problem. Now, I don't think that the white liberals are doing this deliberately, but I think the net results are the same. They are cheering blacks on and doing things that are absolutely self-destructive.
They're cheering blacks. The white liberals are cheering blacks on and they're doing things that are absolutely destructive to them. Dang. Come on now.
One of the things I discovered in the research for my book I'm currently working on is that leaders of groups that are lagging in countries around the world almost invariably have counterproductive policies for them. And it makes perfect sense because insofar as members of lagging groups assimilate into the values and achievements of the larger society, they don't need those leaders. I mean, there's no mystery to me as to why Jesse Jackson says what he does, or Al Sharpton and others, because that benefits them, but it does not benefit the people they lead.
Damn.
And all the incentives are for leaders to lead people into things that don't help the people, but help the leaders.
What
Right.
you'd create there would be an exception for Dr. King, though, wouldn't there?
Yes, but
one of the things was different because he was earliest, or what? Why? What's different about it?
Well, it's like insurgent movements in general. When an insurgency starts off, by definition, it has an uphill battle. Now, and you can look at the history of Christianity, for heaven's sake. If you're going to be a Christian in the Roman Empire, you know, before in the first century, you had a lot of grief to go through. Now, but after Christianity becomes the official religion of the Roman Empire, this is a bonanza, and there's a lot to be done. And so now you will follow policies that are the opposite of what you advocated. You will see that with all kinds of other insurgent movements.
He's spitting so much
Somewhere,
facts.
watching this interview, there's a young Thomas Sowell. There's an African American who's smart and wants to do something with his life. It seems to me we've already got one piece of advice you'd offer to him is stay away from the races industry. Stay away from the what advice, race hustlers. What advice would you give a young Thomas Sowell? How do you make something of yourself as an African American in America today?
The way anybody else would. You equip yourself with skills that people are willing to pay for.
Whew. I love that. You equip yourself with skills that people are willing to pay for, same as anybody else. Talk it. Spit it. Hold on, man. I could watch him all day. Shout out to my man Thomas Sowell. Love it. I love it. I love it. This is the stuff that needs to be heard. This is the stuff that needs to be talked about. All of it. Right? And what did he say? Equip yourself with this. Everyone watching, everyone, equip yourself with stuff that can. Come on, bro. That man Thomas Sowell something different, man. How did I just get into him? Because of y'all. Y'all the ones that put me on, and that's why I say how much I appreciate y'all, how much I love y'all. Because all these videos I do, all this, and this, especially this transformative part of my reaction journey, y'all the ones that put me on. So I love y'all for that, and really getting my mind churning, getting my, you know what I'm saying, it's just so much facts being spit, and then this dude like this, and bro, I need to be talked about more. This is the conversation I want to have about. I don't want to have, you know, I mean, I'll have a conversation, you know what I'm saying, about sports, maybe about, you know, this person, or like, you know what I'm saying, what's going on, but it's just like, these are the kind of conversations I really want to have, those deep level conversations about the world, how stuff is affecting us, how this is going on, why this happened, why that happened. These are deep level conversations I want to have, that we need to have more, not just the face level, the surface level conversations, get into the deeper meanings of stuff, right? This is the stuff I love to talk about. But that's the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. More videos coming very, very soon. Thank y'all so much for all this. This part of my reaction journey has been so transformative, so much. I just love it, bro. Because of y'all been giving me all the suggestions. Every single video I upload, I get from y'all suggestions in the comments. So be sure to keep flooding the comments down below what videos you want to see me get to next. A lot of Thomas Sowell coming, for sure, for sure. A lot of his stuff is on deck because I gotta get to more of him. The truth is tranquility. Now I always tell myself that the truth is tranquility. People say ignorance is bliss. Nah, it's not. The truth is tranquility. The truth is tranquility. Come on now. But yeah, y'all know what the deal is. Road to 50K. So, you know, the grind doesn't stop. So be sure to keep flooding the comments down below, and be sure, you know what I'm saying, to turn on those post notifications, because these videos will continuously be posted. But much love to y'all. Love every single one of y'all. Thank y'all for being here on my journey, and for continuing to be here, because I got y'all. I got y'all forever. You feel me, with these uploads. So thank y'all. Much love to y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you want to see more videos. It's your boy KingSupreme. I'll catch y'all next time, homies.